Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once again. Now we are trying the mission again. Last time we tried it, well, all hell broke loose in the old world, in my existing cities. So let's hope that we can make this work without too many hostile takeovers and whatnot. And yeah, it's once again on the expert because really it gives me the most graphene. That's the one that we need, right? And we need that to settle more islands for our road to the Synth. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we continue with, yeah, destroying Orbital Watch's commandos. And we have 3 sides of them, and we're on our way to a first. I'm actually going through the center because we're gonna need to traverse the center here a couple of times anyway. And that is something we can then easily do over there. Oh, nice! Some graphene! I love that. Something that we get on the way. Let's push them away. They spawned. That was new. Holy cow. There you go. Oh, and that was an achievement. That we used the kinetic shield 50 times. Can you imagine that? I can't. Let's get the support fleet going. To heal us, hopefully. Thank you very much. It's actually the most powerful utility, I think, because the healing lasts for quite some time. Okay, we are on the way. We still even haven't finished the first one. Alright, let's actually give them the EMP, which is also very powerful. And then we're pushing in here. Let's try to get that tower in as well. Nice one. Look at that! Starting the auctions again. On my company shares. We'll need to repair here too. And what I really hate is that they're spawning then out of these shipyards in masses. Like, it's not even close, right? Let's try and get rid of this freaking shipyard there. It's just crazy, right? Like, I would love to know this hack, how you can train so many ships at once. Okay, there you go. Got the first one, right? Yeah.
Affirmative. I'm certain you simply.
The thing is, it gets easier the longer this goes, right? Because you're unlocking so many items down the road that you can then use.
Just a reminder.
Even though this is new, that they're spawning right there. There you go. And there's certainly some graphene here. Yeah, very nice. Here we can combine one rocket launcher on both of them. Right, plus we could repair. Since there's so much fuel here. And I would really like to circumvent the dreadnought. Yeah, that's so much damage. It's incredible. Freaking incredible. Let's go ahead and get these. And let's also make that attack. We need to repair again. Look at that crap shoot of damage. It's these ships that are training new ships all the time. And then they're spawning out of nowhere. This is also super stupid, honestly, and unfair. Okay, let's push forward. As long as that support ship is there, right? We're getting constantly healed there. That's a cool thing. Okay, there's the next one. Let's go with the support fleet. We're barely alive. Yeah, we are also not doing a lot of damage anymore. That's the problem here. Okay, this should work out. There you go. Yeah, loving that support fleet there. Okay, that's the second last one. Then we have the last one. Let's make a double nuclear strike. But even that wasn't enough. And that's it. Holy cow. I hate these missions, honestly, with a passion at this point, but you get the graphene out of them. So here we go. The more I do, the easier it gets, of course, because we level up every time. And we can then use them to push my ships. We have enough money, so I can actually go ahead and just go crazy on the upgrading here. There you go. That was some nice upgrades and repairs that we did. Let's head back to the Tundra and finish our sector project, finally. We also have the problem then over there with green tide that there's not enough energy, so we'll also need to have a look at that soonish.
Glad you took it seriously.
Okay, last mission.
Waiting for us to clean out the vault, and I finally got something ready. A sort of spray-on antidote.
Attach it.
Disinfectant all in one. It should work.
And clear it. Attach the antidote container. Oh, the antidote container. Where's that? There it is. That's the one. And bring it where? To the vault. And the team has identified the infected seeds. Custodian regulations require us to scrub down the vault, and I've got just the right antidote for this. And there it is.
We defeated the virus once and for all. The team is archiving centuries of samples. Looks like the Eden Initiative's endeavor wasn't for nothing.
Awesome. And with that, we get finally the Aerogel tubes. And yeah, we can now produce them, but also transfer them and use the modules, right? So now we can really start with that. And once again, I probably, let's just check it out. Probably would like to move all the way over there. All right, it's a long, actually, should we do this? We have some space here, honestly. And let's move the farms away, right? The farms are something that I don't really need to have so close to the city. And we're gonna remodel that layout again at some point, because this is looking ridiculous right now. And with that, we have a bit of space here that I would really like to use. There's the flax farm, we can have that. It's a very minimal thing. And then we can have our tube production. Now, this is also the first time that I'm building these. And there you go, produce the biocatalyst and Aerogel. And with that, we have also that achievement here finished. And yeah, that's now cobalt and natural gas. Natural gas we have in huge quantities, and cobalt, lucky us, we have the mountain sites that we need for these buggers. That's that. And with that, this production is rolling. It's actually quite workforce intensive. And then we got these modules here. How many can we squeeze in? 4. That's beautiful.
My abject apologies for forgetting to remind you to vote earlier. However, there is still time.
Yeah, that's the limit. And since that's 1200, we can also attach some of these modules into that. Right, and with that, we got the production up and running. That's 23 coming out of that. All the cobalt we can produce already. So yeah, it's quite a production. By the way, this looks amazing. I love it. And this one we can now use in other sectors to boost anything electronics related, as far as I know. Also, everything that is with mining, right? So this is agriculture, and this is now biotech. So also rejuvenators and stuff like that. Yeah, awesome. I'm gonna love this, I think. Now, we still have also our problems in green tide. We want to continue with the synths, and that would be now the luxury food, right? And the rejuvenators. So that's 2 things we can now finally boost as well. And by the way, yeah, this concludes the Tundra main mission, right? So we finally done it and restored the vaults here, the seed vaults. And yeah, that's the maximum amount of settlements that you need here. So with that, we got it all covered. And also that last production now rolling. Very nice. Let's have a look. I'm not going to use it right away. I would like to go for Viridian Coves again, because pretty sure we need the rejuvenators and the luxury food. And then we could work on quantum computers on top of that, as we want to push more investors. So let's check it out here. There we got our food designers already rolling. They just need the bio stuff, right? And yeah, I can actually just go ahead with more. So I'm probably gonna make a full new node here out of that. And by the way, another thing that we should do is cancel the trade routes. Oh, come on. He's here again. You know, like literally 15 minutes ago, I was already fighting an invasion off. And now he's invading again with 64 ships. Look at my balance, by the way, 260,000. That's because the company shares rose by 100,000. So that's a lot of money coming in. Let's just check it out here. So we got the rejuvenators. We do have the robots somewhere. That's the robots. Are they outbound? Where's my production? In Wildwater Bay. Back in our islands, or yeah, in the island map. Let's continue with the upgrading to executive tier. And then can we have lower upgrades too? There you go. A bunch more of the lower tiers, even though we have plenty of resources. In that case, yeah, we just need more licenses. So that's exactly what we can do down here. Gotta be a bit careful right now. We still need some service buildings as well.
Energy demand too high. Countermeasures recommended. Warning.
There you go.
Unfulfilled demand.
IntelliWear. That's something we also still don't have here. Okay, unfortunately, yeah, I mean, you still have mountains, right? You still have something to hike to. I'm an Austrian. You always need something to hike to in your vicinity. And that's those mountains here. Can we make that road there? No, unfortunately, I can't do that. All the way down here. So let's just get rid of it altogether. It would just look strange. And this is kind of like a nice observation post that we can have over there. Here, let's actually keep a bit of an alley so I can freely go ahead and then build me another row of buildings. Yeah. Once again, there's no connection here then. And then we have these last ones here. And with that, we have it almost. I would like to have another service though, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna need that. Yeah, and pretty sure we're also gonna need this one. So actually, perhaps, oh boy. Actually, perhaps, you know what, let's get rid of this. Get us that information over there and then copy me that metro station again. Because that metro station is really important for a lot of tiers, right? So for 2 tiers, whereas the stadium is only important for 1 tier. So it's a no-brainer to me to decide which one I want to take here to that then. Halfway there with the 100,000. So that's the challenge here. Let's go ahead and upgrade a bunch more. And then also here. Very nice. Yeah, pushing to 800,000 now on the population there as well. This should be another level up. Oh no, not even close. So that's that. Now we got 600 graphene. This is amazing because this allows me to settle on yet another island. Of course, we want to take some bigger islands, right? But we got resources. This only has mountainsides, nothing else. This one looks like a very juicy one. Oh yeah, and by the way, we should not forget that for the sector project, we do need the connected islands. This one, right? Then we have this one. Then we have that one that I will still need. And then we have that one. So there's 2. Oh, there's even more. This one. Oh god. That's just crazy stuff, right? All of that needs 260. I can't afford this other island. As much as I would love it, I just cannot afford the graphene cost. So I'm gonna go with one that actually gives me something in return. This one's connected. We have lots of coastal sites. I think I'll go ahead with this. That's the water, right? Got a bit of farmable land here. I think this is okay. Let's sell here for my next one. And we can go ahead right away with the water that we need. And also for the electricity that we need. And speaking about electricity, we should probably also start leveling up that spaceport here. So let's go ahead and do this right away. And yeah, then we just see what we're gonna need. We got the most of the things here, right? And it might actually be once again the neural implants. We got lots of luxury food. IntelliWear is something that I'm gonna need. Stuff like that. Don't forget though, we have for each one of these islands a requirement. So here we need to have tier 2, 500 of them. So once again, let's go ahead and place us down a little settlement. 500 we need top, so this doesn't seem like a lot to me. Alright, so we'll probably, wait a second, probably gonna have a little communications area here, right? And then we can have another block. I mean, yeah, that's probably enough. Right, each one of them houses up to 20. By the way, this same applies to this island here. It has the mountain sides, so we have one with coastal sides and one with mountain sides. Let's claim it. And this one here needs then 250 operators, so that's half of that. So once again, a tier 2 city, which doesn't need to be too big. Graphene cost has risen to 325 now. So yeah, that's more than just one expert mission, unfortunately. There's one more water site that I would really like to use because of all the peeps here. Also, by the way, we could, yeah, use some food here, right? So this is a nice island for that, and I don't wanna waste that much space on other islands now. So it's probably safe to get my food production going here. The vitamins are already coming in from Viridian Cove, right? And let's upgrade so we get our population going here, our requirements that we need. So this was already it, very nice. 500 will be a bit harder to achieve. Already achieved, very nice. And now we just need to get the aluminum over then. At the very least, let's start with that research here. Select the core unit.
Decommissioned central power unit. Structure intact. No activity detected. Please keep your motivation up.
Thank you very much for telling me that. Activate the first reactor. Let's go ahead.
Generator operation. Commencing startup sequence.
And there's the power now coming from the first generator into this one here. And we do need a second one, is that right? Yes, we need a second one. Should be able to activate this one here once we get the aluminum over. So aluminum comes from Archaea Flows. We should have a bit of a bonus here already stocked, right? So I'm just gonna push hard. Way too much, of course, but it should get the job done. There it is. Let's reactivate this one too. And get the first stage completed. And it's moving. Okay, recommissioning the reactors requires individual approaches. Initial core unit assessment indicates a connection to AI research. And we need the third and the fourth reactor. Okay, we can see that those are now running. And yeah, two more. And as expected, we're gonna need all of them at some point. Yeah, I can actually disable that again. And let's also finish that global spaceport here. For 30 graphene, you're taking everything that I have. Very nice. And with that, we can now transfer to the moon. For the next one, I need IntelliWear. And IntelliWear needs, once again, a lot of these IntelliWear productions. And each one of them costs me a lot of silicon. I'm out of mining sites though, so now is the time to use the Aerogel tubes that we can have. We have the right balance for this. And this gives me a doubling the output basically of a already boosted industry, right? So with that, we kind of like stay afloat with all of this, and without it, it's probably not possible. Then we got our farms over there for the flax. We also don't have any flax anymore, so I'm trying to squeeze this one in here too. Just perfect that we actually get this one done for the 33. And then we need to have the microprocessor production again. And oh, that's strange, right? Oh, that's the replicators. We do have the biotech funnel for these. That's something I did not expect. We have a very nice sector balance, so I could use one of them. just to push my output. Unfortunately, we don't have these anymore, I think. Like, yes, we still have 13 available. I can get them to Wildwater Bay to kind of like boost my output. It's not a lot though. There's some graphene waiting again. I'm gonna take this one. And yeah, you can have some synaptics and some meat. Microchips, on the other hand, profit again from my Aerogel. And with that, with just one of them, it's basically as if we build another full complex. This is something that I really enjoy, right? And then we have this one. However, the consumption of Aerogel is really high. So yeah, you cannot have them endlessly, unfortunately, once again. So gotta be very careful with how many of them I actually place down. All I know is that we do need a lot of these here still. And there's even room for some modules then as well. This leads to a sector balance of 0 now exactly. And we can get all of this over. And that's plenty, right? So here we really can push. I'm not entirely sure that we need that many though, because I would also still like to get them over to Viridian Coves. We don't have them yet, right? And Viridian Coves definitely will need some. National leader title, thank you very much for this, as we're pushing past 90 on the level. Finally, we can also upgrade again, and I hope it's one of the last pushes. Let's... oh no, it's not a lot. Why not?
I can always make
we're still... oh, the ascension rights are just so tight. We still need to go ahead with these lower tiers. These guys here. Yeah, now it's possible. Pushing. Pushing. 92. You want another football stadium. That's not gonna happen. Don't have that. Don't have that space. Okay, with that we can upgrade a few more. Could also be worth it to just try and give them something, right? Because the ascension rights are just not there anymore. It's getting closer than I thought.
This was a temporary. I'll either have to renew it or deregister.
Kind of like don't believe how many or how few buildings we can upgrade. Okay, that's like 3 more investors. 2 more here, but that's it. That's the maximum extent. I will need more lower tiers, of course, than on other islands, right? It's not there yet. Holy cow. So we will need to... we got the replicators going though. Wait a second. Replicators, 33 and 34 we need. We fulfilled the demand for that. This should be another steep push. There it is. Oh, 90,000? That's just the replicators there speaking. Okay, 90,000. If I get some lower tiers somewhere else, we should be able to make this somehow. Now, I wonder, I haven't tried this yet. Do I get... does this count island-wide?
Decisions, right?
So right now, we do lack transportation. If I build it here, do we get it? Also here? Nah. Okay. It only counts for the island itself, not for the whole sector, unfortunately. So this will be hard. Okay. So we still need 10,000 more. Next reactor, let's activate it. And we don't need the requirements anymore, right? So now I should be able to just upgrade them.
Competitive edge sharpened.
Alright, regarding the needs of my people, in this case here, what we can see right now, I have no idea how this actually came about. 130 negative vitamin drinks, well, that's just that. But anti-grav compensators, we can actually do something about that, because last I remember, we had anti-grav in surplus on the moon. It's 15. That's not all of it, right? But every single one of them gives me a couple of hundred investors as well. So let's just actually get this one going as well. And then let's also once again tackle real quick my vitamins. And lo and behold, we have this row here now completed. Didn't expect to reach this, honestly, because it's a lot. But actually the game is still very fun to me. So we continue with spamming our modules and our buildings because I really want to see what the synths are all about. So let's just get this going here. With that, we already have a very nice surplus there. And we just continue with more modules there until I'm really out of my fruits, right? Because I really don't want to have a fruit surplus there. It's completely pointless. There you go. Now the anti-grav compensators are actually rather easy to produce. We have a huge fusion power cell surplus that is a 21, and we just need the rare earth elements. This is really annoying. I don't know why this pops up all of a sudden all the time now, so the voting stuff. I really cannot vote, right? So the council, there's no connection to this, and unfortunately she's spamming me with all of that every time I leave a sector, and that wasn't happening before. That is a bit annoying. Now, let's just check it out if we really don't have any other mining site, because we really need one, honestly. What I can do is I can use the Aerogel, of course, right? So that is... But there's a consumption of 30 coming out of this alone, which is crazy. Lo and behold, I totally forgot this one here. It's very close to my settlement. And it gets me the rare earth metals that we need. We do need them anyway also for more bio enhancers. So this is all very fine. Let's get this one going. I'm probably gonna use that area here, right? It's a bit tight. And it's the very expensive industry, right? So one that really costs me. And it's also consuming a lot of fusion power cells. We need to keep some of them in stock for another fusion reactor, right? So I think this is fine for now. We could, by the way, use Aerogel also to boost this output here, which would lead to a crazy amount of anti-grav compensators. So that's something you can definitely consider. Look at that. We can also sell some stuff. I love selling stuff on the moon because everything is very expensive and usually in high quantities, right? So especially in my fusion power cells, that's a lot of money coming in. Beautiful. Now, with that out of the way, let's update that trade route, because with that we now have a surplus of anti-gravs in the Green Tide Archipelago. Gonna keep me some 7 available there again. Of course, I also need to continue to grind out those missions, so we're just doing that on expert difficulty so that I get my maximum amount of graphene out of that. And as always, he's pillaging one of my sectors again as soon as I enter one of these expert missions. At this point, I don't think in a coincidence anymore, because it's literally happening every time I'm doing one of these expert missions. I can't remember this really happening in the past. So if it's not really extreme coincidence here, then they changed something along the lines, because I'm getting these freaking invasions. So I'm not abandoning this mission this time around, because I really, really want to get it over with. Where's my last one? I think we have one more. There it is. This one we still need to free. And then we're done with it. And... oh, that's not the one. This one we already freed. There's still one more up there. There you go, 300 graphene again that we can use to settle. Back in the Green Tide, we continue with our 100,000 investor challenge that we have. For this I will still need to upgrade a few lower tiers to get me those ascension rights, and especially here as well. I'm also considering getting rid of some smaller tiers again, because this counts for the whole map, right? And instead of these guys here, we can have more service buildings that contribute to the investors. So in this case here, that's the entertainment, right? So I need to get another stadium going on the same island, unfortunately, right? And this pushes us. With that, we have now 100,000 investors. I'm gonna reactivate this one right away. There you go. And with that, we have activated 3rd and 4th reactors. Very nice. And with that, we have completed the most difficult challenge on this map. That is, of course, yeah, developing this city here. By the way, anything else we could do, since we have a bit of space still left for the services? Yeah. Oh, look at that. Also, this pushes us to 94. The next title is then the Production Syndicate. I like this. Because with that, this sounds a bit cool, right? And yeah, with that, we have developed a small megacity that is right over here. And with that out of the way, I think we have
give us your
Confirmation obtained. AI personalities have been saved in long-term storages. Sample code shows advancement over current AI capabilities. Please proceed to the full power input. That is the 5th and the 6th generator. So for this, we have that one here to the left. This needs executives, so tier 3. And I need to claim this area. That is something we can do. So let's get my ship over. That is number 1. And number 2, executives 1000. And microchips. All right. And we need to claim this area. Together, we should be able to afford it. No, not quite, because I think the claiming price will be higher for this one once we claim that one. Right. By the way, there's an achievement to claim all the islands. We'll just see, because that would be a ridiculous amount of graphene, honestly. And I can't see myself really grinding that out, right? We need thousands of them. Let's claim the island. And let's go down here then. And we can afford it. Perfect. We can also afford the last island of the project. And now, I mean, there's some juicy mining sites on this one. Now we just need the executives. So tier 3. So we definitely will need to... Oh my god, this might be harder, right? Could be harder than the investor challenge. I don't think so. Nah, I don't think so. Because you can really squeeze in a lot of people everywhere here. Wait a second. Here we can actually use this one. There you go, right? And then I could potentially... This one here is pretty much squeezed. These smaller houses to really squeeze in into these smaller areas there. It looks crap, right? Really looks like crap, but it might actually help us out there. There you go. And let's actually get rid of this road here. I'm not entirely sure that we're gonna need those mining sites, honestly. And we definitely will need to have... Oh, this is not possible because of the mining here, right? But at least that is possible still. Alright, so here we have the mining site now. This is the max that I can get out of this. And then we can have our information center. And then I hope, perfect, we can still squeeze in those. Oh, nice. Also another one here. To that mining site again. Can we squeeze in a police operator here? This would be totally ideal. Can have it over there. That's also fine, right? And with that, can still go ahead and have these guys. Really? I can actually build one there. That's a surprise to me. And then probably here. I think this is actually already fine. Don't underestimate the amount of people I can squeeze into one of these blocks, right? Because it's a lot. So every block counts. There's a coastal side, unfortunately, so I cannot do this here. This is also problematic. Oh, come on. Don't give me that. Let's get rid of this road. I cannot build the road here. No, it's really just one tile. There needs to be another way of doing this. There you go. That's the way. Alright, let's upgrade. And once again, this counts just for the full island, the ascension rights, right? And then we have tier 3. And this should actually be enough already.
So, that's
Close. There it is. And we activated reactor number 5. Easy. Last one is this one. And let's claim the area. Once again, we got some coastal sites here. No, one. We got not some. We got one and a mining site. And now I just need to do the same thing, but I need microchips for this whole thing. So let's just see if we can still get some microchips over from somewhere. We don't. So you know what? Let's just purchase them real quick from my global trader. And getting me 50 over there, I mean, this will be filled really quickly. Cost me 15,000 temporarily. And my balance is just wacky right now. So that's fine. Alright, for this one, we once again need to get the city going. We have a lot of space here and we have minimal requirement. So this will be easy. It's a bit hard here to see where you can actually build stuff and where you can't. Alright, so if we go all the way over there, let's actually keep this area available as a little green area. And we definitely will need our information center. Gonna have this one in the center. Definitely will have our police station here to push those people. And this one. And then we can have another full block over there. What's going on here? That's probably the mining again. Yes. The thing is, the mining you only see when you have the road menu activated, not the building menu itself. And then we could have some smaller ones here, and smaller ones here, and smaller ones here. I think this is already enough, right? Yeah, that was already enough. Let's reactivate structure number 6, and with that we have all the reactors activated.
Considerably. A follow-up is needed.
There it is. The survey team reports the facility is a mass production plant for sentient androids. Stricter AI laws caused its shutdown. I urge you to reconsider this policy and activate the core unit. Before we do this, let's also deactivate my microchips again. Not wasting my money there. And yeah, ladies and gents, let's activate the core.
What can I do for you?
And with that, we have synthetics
Data scan.
as a new
completed.
population tier unlocked past the investors. Sentient androids and function autonomously from their main frame. They provide reliable and low maintenance workforce. Upgrade investor estates to have synthetics move in. Is this a quest here? Upgrade them, yes. Can we upgrade them here right away? No, we need to have everything fulfilled. So this could be a bit tricky. Quantum computers is something we don't have at the moment. So I need to push my quantum computers a bit more. And I'm also continuing with my quantum computers. It's been a while since we tackled this. And production was already tight on it, right? Also my workforce in the Arctic, so I will always need to add these drone modules here, otherwise we're running out of workforce. With that I got 19 and 23 of the qubits, and with that we can now push a few more quantum computers, and holy cow, they're expensive. Can I purchase metal foams? Can we sell something? Yeah, we can sell a bunch of these things going, and then we can just add another one here. That's 6 qubits quantum computers, and then we just push the whole modules over there. 23, lots of energy. This one costs me too, so this is something to consider here. 23, that's a lot, by the way, right? And we could still push a bit more. Nice. Yeah, all the way up to 36, which is an insane number for quantum computers. And let's just check them out again. By the way, we also have the Aerogel. This is actually something that I think about, getting to the Arctic so we can boost the industry, right? Because the Aerogel can be used, yes, to boost them. Holy cow, this could be a game changer, especially for something as expensive as the quantum computers. Doubling the output of these is super juicy. And let's just have a look, because we can now fully satisfy Wildwater Bay again with quantum computers. So I would like to push this one to, yeah, a surplus of 8, right? This will already lead to a nice boost in population again. By the way, also the thing with the water is we're getting the water right now. Madrigal Island has a bit more. And I'm actually importing my water from the space station as well, right? From the global markets. So we should have... Do we not have a trade route going from that? We don't at the moment. Okay, this is actually good. So I would like to import some water from the space station now. You can go up to 500, right? And let's just see, getting some 80 in only cost me 8,000. So this is totally acceptable. And with that, we have some upgrades possible. The other quantum computers we can actually send over then to Green Tide Archipelago, where we need 48. I mean, 4 are coming in. There you go. Alright, and with that, well, we can upgrade my investors to SYNTHS, which is the highest tier that you can have in this game. So I'm gonna be very careful with that, because first of all, it cost me graphene. We don't even have that. So let's just check it out. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna purchase another 85 from here. We can sell some microchips to make up for the loss there, right? To stay afloat financially speaking. All right, where should we upgrade? Where should we go ahead with them? Where's my space Ah, there it is. Right, there's my... Yeah, would have made sense here. Let's actually upgrade those guys, and then we can upgrade them to synths. There you go. Holy cow. I didn't expect the buildings to become even more sexy. And these are ridiculously beautiful. Okay, so I already thought the investors would be the peak here, but look at those buildings. That's really fantastic. Can we have a bunch more? There you go. Honestly, that's just, look at this tower here. Holy moly. Beautiful. Living it has on it. So this is mind-blowingly beautiful, honestly. And yeah, it actually fits the theme of the headquarters, right? To some extent. Beautiful. By the way, this one here, perhaps you can move it so that they... Yeah, it doesn't really look like that. Artificial life. These few buildings here already give me 30,000 synthetics. That's just crazy. So they can house a lot, right? 5,000 per building. That's a lot. They're looking really cool and they don't need a lot, right? So look at that. While the investors need all these goods, like literally they need all these goods, right? The synths only need that. And as long as this is fulfilled, they're happy. However, the downside is, look at that. The investors bring me tax income of 4,700 per building, whereas the synths bring me nothing. So we lose 5,000 tax income per building that we upgrade. That's an insane number. So we are going to be very careful with the amount of synths that I'm getting into my city here, right? It's just a selected few that we have here in the city center. Like these here, that was just very expensive again. Alright, but it's gonna be worth it. So just the 100,000 there. And yeah, the most important thing that they provide is workforce, right? So we have twice as many employees per synth residents, even though, you know, we don't really need all that workforce in Wildwater Bay, of course. It's just a nice new step forward. Beautiful buildings, seriously. I'm addicted to the look of that. Also, this just totally explodes my population because, of course, we're doubling the amount of people every time we upgrade one of these houses there. But I'm super annoyed that it costs graphene to upgrade them, as always. I have no idea why they limit all of that so hardcore. But okay, there you go. We, by the way, have the potential to upgrade a few more in Wildwater Bay to investors. I would like to do this. So these guys here. These guys here. Let's just see how far we can go with that. And that's it, right? And now lower tier. 1. That was that. Ah, come on. Don't do it with my shares. And unfortunately, that's really the end of my ascensions. Some of them would like to go for, but yeah, super alloys. This looks a bit strange here. Let's also upgrade a bunch of them here to investors. So we can actually get more than I thought. Nice one. And yeah, so far so good. Got ourselves the synths, got ourselves the top tier of evolution. Not even humans anymore. They just look like humans, but they're not. And with that out of the way, hope you enjoyed this one. We continue in the next episode. Stay tuned.